Welcome to the University of Guelph. My name is Mike Hogan along with Ben Grant. We are your affable Toronto Argonauts radio crew doing some TV as the Battle of the 401 moves up Highway 6 to the University of Guelph, where the Toronto Argonauts hold their training camp each and every year, and taking on their rivals from down the QEW, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Second of two for each team as we get ready for final cuts tomorrow. Big game for a lot of people tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of jobs on the line. Everyone tonight is essentially playing for the right to play again. That's the way you look at it. No one's job is ever really safe. And this game especially, there's a lot of people fighting for starting roles, a lot of people fighting for roster spots. So we know we're in for a good one. We saw this matchup last week. These teams are very familiar with each other. The fan bases are very familiar with each other. And this stadium is a great venue to watch a preseason game from.
I asked both head coach Mike Miller and the director of player personnel, Jim Barker, how many jobs were on the line, or have they already basically put all the hay in the barn? And he said, oh, no, both of them were very adamant that there are still jobs up for grabs.
It's so every play is so crucial. You have so few games in football compared to other sports, and so any one play can do it. You have a good night, you have a great quarter, that could be enough to vault you into a different position in the coaches' minds, maybe.
And this is a big game for teams because last week the game in Hamilton between these two teams, it was very tough to get stuff off the film because it was a monsoon from the get-go. It was cold, it was windy, and the rain just did not let up. So this is an opportunity under more favorable conditions, although it is really windy with the wind coming from the north.
But wind aside, it's a beautiful sunny night, and if the wind can just calm down a little bit, this will be the perfect evening for a football game.
So we'll get to see what quarterbacks can do both with the wind and maybe even more importantly into the wind. That's a skill in itself. And for kickers, we'll see what they can do, especially in Hamilton. They know how windy that building can be. So we're going to come back. We'll take a quick timeout. We will come back with the kickoff. It's the Argos and Ticats preseason football here on CFL Plus. And the countdown to kickoff. We're about 4.5 minutes away from getting this underway. If you are Mike Miller, what do you want to see out of your Argos tonight?
I think you want to see what will end up being sort of a second and third unit operate efficiently. Like you said before the break, we didn't really get a chance to see that in a full effect last week because of the conditions. The teams should be able to throw and run the football effectively tonight. And you just want to see that guys are doing what you've been going through with them for the last few weeks. Guys have spent now a lot of time in training camp. They know the playbooks. He wants to see his guys go out and execute. And really, coaches want tough decisions. They want you to put them in a position where they're like, man, this guy's really good. I think we got to take a close look.
Tavares McFadden, Nick Arbuckle, Brian Harry Lamanna out there as the captains for the Boatmen. And for the Ticats, it's their two quarterbacks, Jake Dolagala and Trey Ford. We will not see Bo Levi Mitchell tonight unless everything goes wrong. I didn't even see Bo in the warm-up, so I think they're just going to go with the two tonight.
Yeah, he is on the depth chart, but I think only as a formality.
Just in case. Just in case. Chance to look at Trey Ford tonight. Jake Dolagala is number one on the depth chart in terms of tonight. And for the Argonauts, we'll see three quarterbacks tonight. We'll see Nick Arbuckle and Tucker Horn and Anthony Gershio.
And this is an important one for Dolagala, too, for the Ticats. And it's interesting that they gave him the start over Trey Ford. I think we know Trey Ford will be there. I think Dolagala is trying to show what he can do. And for the Argonauts, we're very familiar with Nick Arbuckle. But Horn and Gershio, they both got signed to prove. So I think there's going to be some exciting quarterback play. A lot on the line tonight.
Our head official tonight is Andrew Wakefield. So Toronto wins the toss. There we go. So we're all ready to go here. Little interesting wrinkle is the two teams wear the same uniforms they wore last week. Usually the Argos in baby blue for their home games, but opting for the white tonight. Ticats in their traditional black jerseys.
So the Argos won the toss and deferred. And that wind is going to factor in. We talked about that already. That's the only part of the weather that isn't perfect tonight. There's a pretty strong wind coming from left to right. And you can see the telltales are they are blowing pretty hard. And we saw kickers struggling pre-game. That ball was getting knocked down in a hurry.
For those who remember a playoff game played here between Hamilton and Montreal when the Ticats were building Hamilton Stadium, they played here, and Sean White kicked about a 25-yard, or tried to kick a 25-yard field goal. It was not a long field goal. He kicked it high, and the wind knocked it down. The video was so dramatic from the goal line. They showed it on Monday Night Football the next night, and anybody who was here in this building, it was a very cold, rainy, windy day. Will remember that game for that kick. And it's been windy here in Guelph throughout the 3 weeks of training camp, and we have seen the Sean White effect in effect here on more than one occasion.
Yeah, that video, if it had come out this year, everyone would have sworn it was AI because it looked like it was defying physics as the ball just came to a dead stop. But yeah, we saw that. We saw that in warm-up, so we'll see. It's going to start off with a kick into the wind with the Argonauts kicking off to start into the wind, and I think this is going to be a tough ball to field because while it's not going to travel far, it's going to be very deceptive for Hamilton's returners. It's going to hang up there. It will cause problems.
Myron Mitchell is number 7 to the near side of your screen. Isaiah Wooden Sr., the veteran, is back after a visit with the NFL, and he'll be at the top of the screen. He's so good, they let Mario Alford go this week after he took one to the house last week against the Argos in the rain.
Yeah, that one was called back for a penalty, but it still shows that Mario Alford can get it done, and to release him at that point tells you how much faith they have in Wooden. And they're having so much trouble, the ball won't stay on the tee here. They're going to have to hold it.
Liram Hyrala, who is the kicker, and the tee will be Brian Harry Limana. The veteran and one of the keys to the special teams units here in Toronto.
It's interesting to see Mickey Donovan, special teams coordinator, just getting his guys aligned, just making sure they're in the exact right spot for this Hamilton return team, seeing how they're lined up.
When the wind is this strong, I don't. You kick it to an empty spot, right?
Yeah, go for the ball.
Practice your onside kick, and they're just going to kick it long and low, and it will be Wooden taking it at the 20-yard line to the 30. Looks for something outside and hits the hole. Gets knocked down at the 37, and that's where the Ticats will take over 1st and 10.
Now, the other theory is that you want to evaluate your special teams players, and so you kick it to one of the best returners in the game and see what your guys can do against it. So that's what they did. They kick it away and get a bit of film on these guys.
Jake Dolagala in at the helm for the Ticats to start. 5th year out of Central Connecticut, 2nd year with the Ticats. He'll drop back on 1st down, go to the far sideline, has a completion, and it's Curly Gittins Jr., the former Argo, former Elk, makes the catch against his former team, and it'll be a 1st down. Check that. That's 74. That's Blaine Taylor.
Just a base defensive look for the Argos. You're going to get that a lot tonight with seeing these two teams. Not wanting to show too much, but just to see if their guys can play fundamentals. That time, it's just a nice read. Franklin dropping back into coverage. That was the open spot. It's an easy completion.
Curly wearing 14 for the Ticats. And they'll go ground game, and nothing doing there. Avery Morrow is the running back, and that was the newcomer who has gotten a lot of rave reviews here, Sawani Tawia.
Tawia shed his block so quickly that he was almost there to take the handoff himself. There was absolutely no chance for Hamilton to get any yardage out of that. He's going to be a fun one to watch tonight. He has been terrific. Played a good game last week in the rain. I've got my eyes on him.
They rave about his motor. He is just one of those guys. 2nd and long. Dolagala drops back, dumps it over the middle. It is caught, and well short of the 1st down is Myron Mitchell once again. And the Argos force a 2 and out.
And that time,
a 1st down, then a 2
and out. That was Parashan getting in on the action there. He sped up that delivery from Dolagala. Parashan with a swim move got into the backfield quickly. Dolagala had to get rid of that probably a little earlier than he wanted to, and the Ticats come up short. Argos are going to get the ball back, but this one may travel.
Janarian Grant back at his own 10-yard line to receive the punt from Mitch McCarthy. High end over end punt will hit at the 10 and go into the end zone. And we have our first point of the game, a rouge from Mitch McCarthy, who played last year on the Indiana Hoosiers national championship team.
He was trying so hard to keep that ball in play. He barely touched that punt. He was just going for height, And it's funny that I thought Janarian Grant was going to field it because it came down where he was lined up on the 10, but he could just tell that one was going to travel. Argo's going to end up with much better field position out at the 40.
So the Ticats take a 1-0 lead, a couple of minutes in to this second preseason game for both teams. Nick Arbuckle comes in to run the Argo offense now. The veteran, the MVP of the 2024 Grey Cup game. They'll start with 3 to the far side, go over the middle, trying to dig it out, but not being able to do it is Solomon Davis, the speedster, and it'll be second down and 10.
It's not going to be easy throwing into that wind, and it's kind of throwing across as well. That one came in a little bit low. Arbuckle being safe with it because, again, with that wind, you don't want to be high and risk an interception. He was trying to put it where only his guy could get it. Just came in a little bit too low, just a few inches too low.
And throwing into the wind, the ball's going to knock the nose down.
It does, yeah. You can see that one die.
Second down and 10 from their own 40 after the single point. Hamilton in a 40 front. Back to passes Arbuckle, steps up, dumps it out, has a man in Mitchell. And Gyron will be hit at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be a 2-and-out for the Ticat defense.
Yeah, just good awareness by the Ticat defense. It was a nice play from Arbuckle. He was in trouble. Really good pocket awareness. That's something that I saw develop in him nicely last year. An area of his game that he really improved. He stepped up in the pocket, shook a little bit to the left, found the dump off, but Hamilton stayed at home. They were able to come up and make the tackle.
So it's going to be Nathan Walker coming out. He was a draft pick in the 7th round by the Argos this year out of York. Flag down, low end over end. It is a no yards coming up against the Argos. As coming up to make the catch was Isaiah Wooden Sr. Couldn't hang on to it, got it back. But we'll see what the other flag is as well, as we'll take a timeout. With the score 1-0 Ticats, you are listening to Argo football. Actually, you're watching it here on CFL Plus. We're back. Scoreless game. The ball was not returned with the new Rouge rule, so it's 0-0, Ticats and Argos. And the Ticats go back to the ground, and once again it's Avery Morrow who will get not much, 4 yards maybe. It'll be second and manageable.
Yeah, the new Rouge rule, if the ball goes out the back of the end zone, you no longer get that single point. There's even more incentive for punters to try and keep that one in play, and you get why that's such a heads-up move by Janarian Grant to let that ball bounce through and get the ball at the 40 without any sort of punishment.
2nd and 6 from the 51-yard line. Dolegala was 2 of 2 for 17 yards on the opening drive. He'll go to the air once again, dropping back, looking far numbers, and it is incomplete. Benji Franklin was the closest player to the ball, trying to jump the route over the head, and out comes. No, they're going to go for it on 3rd and 6, it looks like.
But how about Benji Franklin with a batted ball, a broken up pass, something that he struggled with last year after being so good the previous season, getting his hands in there and causing trouble for the receivers.
He didn't have a knockdown last year until the last couple of weeks of the season.
After
leading.
Right. Yeah, it was something he's so good at. He just had some bad luck last year, and hopefully he's able to shake it off this year. That's a good sign there. And again, good pressure from the Argos. Without blitzing, they're just sending a 4-man rush, but the guys are getting through.
Wind still very strong behind the back of Dolegala. He looks things over here on 3rd and 6. Argos are going to send the extra man over the middle. It is caught! Somehow that went through, and Jawan Newton's going to score the touchdown. That was thrown in between 3 players. One of them was wearing black and gold, and he makes the catch, and the Ticats get their first points.
And Woods got the worst of that. He's down on the field now in what looks to be considerable pain. But, yeah, he came up on the short end of that contact downfield. Again, decent pressure from Toronto. They blitzed that time, sending Casey. And before he was able to get home, Dolegala got rid of it. Ball was caught in a bit of a strange play. But, it's a one for the Ticats.
It's not how, it's how many, right? And there's the good news for the Argos as Woods comes off to the near sideline. Ed's a rookie out of Michigan State. Signed here in January, just before free agency. 4 years with the Sun Devils. In an era where not a lot of guys play 4 years with one team. Here's the conversion attempt. It is up, it is good, and it's 7-0 for the Ticats with 9:54 remaining here in the opening quarter. Argos.
This season, don't just watch the CFL, run your own team. Introducing the all-new fantasy game from the Canadian Football League. Create a league with your friends or jump into a public one with other CFL fans. Draft your squad of CFL stars. Build your lineup. Make trades, waiver pickups, and game day decisions all season long. Set your lineup and make moves that turn everyday fans into fantasy legends. Play head-to-head matchups and compete for the ultimate bragging rights. CFL Fantasy presented by the Score Bet. Draft like a GM, win like a champion. Sign up and draft your team today.
And we're back at the University of Guelph, 7-0 Ticats. As Janarian Grant will drop back for this kickoff, along with Sam Hicks, who will catch the ball. And start at his own 5-yard line, far numbers to the 20. Cuts back into the inside of the 25 to get an extra 5, and that's where the Argos will take over down 7.
Hicks is an exciting player. He's fun to watch. He's got a lot of change of direction ability, very quick, reads the field well, sees space. That time, I think the catch might have been the hardest part of that run. It's coming down right staring into the sun. He did a good job shielding his eyes a little bit so that he could see that one.
They'll spot it at the 26-yard line, 1st and 10. Argos moving into the wind, which is definitely a factor here tonight. Jaron Mitchell will be in the backfield with Nick Arbuckle. And they will go ground game and nothing doing, but he'll bounce off the tackle, come to the near side, get 30, square the shoulders, and get 9 yards, close to first down yardage. On a nice run from Jaron Mitchell, who had a really nice game on this field in the preseason against the Ticats a year ago.
He did. Argos are going quick here as well. I'll talk about that play in a moment. There were 2 things I want to mention on that last one.
They're just going to come up in short yardage and get the first down. And a little bit more.
Yeah, nice quarterback sneak from Arbuckle.
You were saying?
So on that last play, first of all, it was a great read. There was nothing doing to the right. Running play designed to go to the right. Mitchell, seeing that there was nothing there, cut back, all sorts of space, but he needed one key block, and it was from Nick Arbuckle. Great block, but I hate to see my quarterback use his right shoulder to make that block. But he did it. It was effective. Nick bounced right back up and just got a 3-yard gain, I think, on that quarterback sneak.
Be a first down from the 38-yard line. Ball in the middle of the field. 3 receivers to the top, 2 to the near side. 4-man rush. Back is Arbuckle looking long, and it is incomplete. Looking for a flag, nothing doing. As again, Solomon Davis, the intended receiver.
I'm surprised there was no flag on that. It's a great throw from Arbuckle, considering that's going into the wind. He launched it. He basically threw that as far as he could, and the hope is that it doesn't get knocked down too much. But it looked like Davis just had his feet tangled up a little bit. I don't know. It didn't look as bad on the replay as it did live, so maybe let that go.
Sets up a 2nd down and 10.
And Davis almost came down with that anyway.
He can fly. There have been a couple of plays in camp on quick hits where he just exploded. Back to pass, heavy pressure. Arbuckle reads it, and we've got a flag on the far side of the field on an incomplete pass. Tyler Common was the intended receiver, and we'll see what the flag is.
Arbuckle took a shot on that, just hung in the pocket, got it out, but paid for it.
Well, he didn't get called on the previous play, but Quavian Wright is going to get called there for the contact, and the Argos will move the sticks into the wind, trailing 7-0 midway through the opening quarter.
I didn't think that one was as bad, but I get throwing the flag again. There's contact, but I would have been a little quicker to throw the flag in the first one.
A familiar face in an unfamiliar position for the Argos. As you see in the backfield, Jack Kassar, the linebacker, is now turned into a fullback. Play action. No, actually they do go to the ground and will get across the 50 to the 54-yard line, but this is going to be offside.
Yeah, I think it's actually offside. At first I thought it was on Toronto, but Hamilton also looked like they jumped, so we'll see who they saw go offside on that. I'm surprised they didn't just blow that dead with all the pre-snap motion there was. There was definitely a timing issue with the snap there, and it looks like the Argos players just held up enough, but because of that, I guess, missed snap count, Hamilton jumped.
And the guilty party, Brian Ugu from Miami of Ohio, another rookie. So the Argos now with a 1st and 5 from their own 53-yard line. Jaron Mitchell in the backfield. They'll go 3 receivers out to the right. Arbuckle again, a quick hitter, picked off. No. Picked off momentarily, but Jordan Crook could not hang on, and it will be a 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, that was Miller with a heads-up play to immediately get on that tackle. That's what jarred that ball free, because otherwise that's an interception. Not a good decision there by Nick Arbuckle. He had an open receiver to the left side, took what I thought was a tougher matchup with coverage in a little tighter on that hook route. Both guys running hooks from the slots.
A lot of newcomers on the field, but the veteran David Unger will go wide out to the right side in the Z spot. Back to pass is Arbuckle. He's going to go long again. He floats one toward Common and is almost picked off again. As flirting with disaster, as Ronan Horrell out of UBC had his hands on the football, and the Argos will not gamble like the Ticats did on third down. They will send in the punt unit with the aforementioned Nathan Walker.
That's a tough ball. It's just tough to throw a corner route into this wind, and I thought Common should have come back to that to try and make a play on the ball. He waited for it to come down, and Horrell almost picked it.
Man, it's windy.
It's windy in our booth, which tells you how windy it is outside.
It's a knuckleball that'll come down to the 24-yard line. We get a flag. I don't know if that's going to be for a no yards or look like maybe a little bit of obstruction from Caleb Hayes on the way down. We'll see. But we will take the timeout. You see, it's 7-0 Ticats over the Argos here on CFL Plus. First down, Tiger Cats leading 7-0 here at the University of Guelph. Jake Dolegala still in a quarterback. He wants to wear it now with the win. He's got a man in Mitchell and overthrew him with the rookie, Louis-Philippe Gauthier. It must be known as LP, but he was stride for stride. The Argos, one of their third-round choices this year.
Yeah, that ball went a little farther than LP thought it was going to go, but it also went further than anybody could get to. It just took off. Like, Dolegala's got a cannon of an arm, and when you got that kind of wind behind you, it sails. A couple little changes here. With the injury to Woods, Wilson has now moved over to halfback, and Ethan John's in at the safety spot.
Another one of the Argo draft picks, taken in the second round. Dolegala back to pass. He's going to sidearm one. It'll come out and caught. Nice open field tackle there. As going to make the play was Aaron Casey, another player from Indiana, former Hoosier. Great open field tackle after a short gain, and now the punt team will come out with Nick Haberer doing the honors out of Vanderbilt.
That's a nice play from Casey to be able to track sideline to sideline. He's got such good speed for a guy you think of as an interior guy.
So Janarian Grant's all the way back at his 10-yard line. Here comes the punt. And he got the nose on that down on the drop. It does take a nice tie-cap bounce, though. And Grant's going to have to play it at the 10-yard line and take it out to the 14.
There's a little English on that one.
Oof. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it worked out just fine. So with 4:17 remaining in the opening quarter, another quick timeout. Ticats leading the Argos 7-0. The Argos have seen enough from Nick Arbuckle. Tucker Horn in at quarterback. And he's going to step up in the pocket, hit a man on the cross out to the close to the 30-yard line is Marcus Rogers. Another rookie out of Troy, and that ball came out. Are they saying down by contact, or is this Hamilton football?
I think that came out before he was down. I think this is going to be a turnover, and it's too bad. It was a great play from Tucker Horn. First of all, to avoid the rush.
Yeah, Hamilton ball.
Yeah, and Horn had a chance to take off with it. Probably could have got a first down with his legs, but saw an open receiver coming across the formation, was able to connect and make the play. We'll take a look at the replay and see if he looks down by contact. Oh,
can't tell.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough to see from our angle. But the referees have awarded Hamilton the football. Hamilton's going to take over inside Argo territory.
Hey, could this be a first? Mike Miller had the red flag out. First-year head coach for the Argos as Ryan Dinwiddie headed up to the Capitol. Red Blacks playing Montreal tonight. They're scoreless late in the first. He doesn't have to throw. It's a turnover, so it'll be automatically reviewed.
Yeah, they're going to look at this either way here, but from our angle, we just can't tell. It looks like the type of play where the receiver was down first, but I can't actually see the football from that angle. So as far as I know, that ball was loose when he came down. So it depends on where they were in the process there.
Or did he go down and then 23 kick it out? Cameron Stone.
Yeah, I don't even know in terms of the number of cameras that are set up. It's not being a regular season game. We will see what kind of angles they have, but everything we've seen so far would indicate to me that there's not enough to reverse this decision. I'd be surprised if this ended up being anything other than Hamilton ball.
Likewise, if the call had have been down by contact.
Same, yeah, it would have stayed. Yeah.
Obviously, fewer cameras working the game than the usual TSN crew.
Oh, they're sending
the offense is going back
sending
out?
Toronto's offense back out, so word seems to be from upstairs that he was down.
And it should mention that Marcus Rogers came off the field and went into the tent. So they're working on him.
Yeah, he came down awkwardly. It's hard to tell what, but it just his last few steps as he was trying to maintain his balance. That's the kind of play where you can end up easily tweaking a knee or what have you. I didn't see anything to know what kind of injury it is, but he came down very awkwardly as he fumbled and immediately went to ground. Couldn't even try to recover the fumble.
So good news from Andrew Wakefield for the Toronto Argonauts. Couldn't tell when the ball came out, at least not to us up here. But they must have ruled that the knee went down, he went flat, and then Stone came out and knocked it loose.
Which is what it looked like from our view, but we couldn't tell for sure. And that is going to be a first down because he did have first down yardage at the time of the fumble. And we'll keep an eye on Rogers as he's in the tent right now on the near sideline.
Tucker Horn in his second year out of Trinity. He did everything at Trinity. He won the Conference Player of the Year 3 times, 3 championships down there. And in his second year with the Argonauts. Play action, he'll dump it out. He's got Miller on the near side, and Dre Miller, the former Red Black, out to the 40-yard line. Dre Miller had one great game in the CFL. It was against the Argos.
Yeah. feels like that happens to a lot of guys that end up continuing their journey and coming back to Toronto. But Dre Miller wasn't the primary option. I think Tucker Horn pump faked it to Miller in that case, looking to free something up a little deeper, but it didn't move anybody, so he's like, oh, I guess I'll just throw it to Miller, and it worked.
First down at the 40. Argos down 7. And they will go ground game, and it will be Hicks in now at running back across the 45 to the 47. Sam Hicks has shown a lot. You were talking about a little bit earlier. He's got a great set of hands, and you can tell since he was a little kid, he's loved either the tire or the ladder drill.
Yeah.
Because his feet are so quick between the tackles. He gets jammed up, and, I know a lot of people won't remember what a phone booth is, but he could make you miss in a phone booth. He's that quick. Argos now with a second and short 4. Horn sidearms one, and it's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Dimitri Stanley, who's had a nice camp as well. And now it'll be third down and 4-ish, and out comes the punt unit.
The window was small. You could see Horn try to contort his body so he could try and will that ball through traffic. Just couldn't quite get it there. It was a little too much. It's tough. We come back to the wind a lot, but Hamilton's playing so close to the line of scrimmage because, as we've seen, balls downfield are volatile. You've got to throw it short. The Argos only have another 2 minutes of this wind before they get it themselves.
Nathan Walker once again in for another punt. And he'll get this one away. It's high, and oh boy, the wind just killed it and knocked it backwards. It's going to hit at the 49-yard line and roll out of bounds. And Walker came in and knocked it out of bounds. He's the kicker. He's the last guy to touch it.
Walker came in at 100 miles an hour. Everyone else was clearing out. Walker dove, laid straight out for that, and tipped it out of bounds. The question is, was he inbound still? Did he take off from inbounds, or did his foot step on the line before he went into the air? That's an extremely high football IQ play to have the awareness that I'm the punter, I can go get that ball. And on a day like this where it's coming back to you, love it from Walker. We'll have to see. I think he got that. I think that is going to be Toronto's ball.
He did touch it, but was he on the line when he jumped? That's the question. There are no flags on the field for no yards.
The officials have huddled up here. Roger's out of the medical tent, by the way.
That ball was really high and literally was blowing back toward him.
It was. Yeah, that's going to be a first down for the Argos. What a play by Walker. Great heads-up play.
Nathan Walker's made a name for himself. In the preseason game last week, he saved a touchdown with a really nice tackle in front of the Argos bench on a return, and now with a heady play, he's still got another year of eligibility. It would be tough for him to supplant John Haggerty as the punter.
Yes.
But he has shown a lot. He's got a really strong leg, too.
He does, although, like you said, his highlights have been other things, but he can kick the ball.
They're going to send another rookie, Tyreek Quaison, out to the near side. Everybody else to the right, and an incomplete pass toward Dre Miller. And it will be second down and 10 from the Hamilton 50. Inside a minute and a half remaining here in the opening quarter. Argos would love to get another first down just to kill the clock into the wind.
Yeah, that's a tough throw. A bubble screen out to the right, but to the wide side of the field. Arbuckle put everything he could on that, and it just sailed. It took off on him over top of Miller, who's a pretty tall target.
3 to the wide side of the field, 2 to the left. Quaison joined over here by Stanley. Back to pass is Horn. He's going to roll out and sidearm one in the general direction of Solomon Davis. And it will mean that they'll have to punt again into the wind. And out comes Nathan Walker. Lesson learned for both teams on that, by the way.
Yeah.
On his play, especially for the newcomers up from the States who have been taught in camp about this. That's the first time they get a chance to see it in action.
And there's just so many of those little rules. It's great to actually have it on your own film other than your coach just telling you about this play you got to watch out for. What a play.
Not a lot of respect here for Walker. Again, he kicks it high, and the wind is going to knock it down at about the 27. And a very short return from Kyrese Rowan.
And you notice Gagne from the Ticats came up and took care of Walker immediately. He was not going to let the punter go down and get that one. Walker was blocked twice on that play.
You know Bob Dice has gone over with a fine-tooth comb how the Canadian rules work for the newcomers.
Yeah.
No, special teams coordinator in Hamilton. Likewise, Mickey Donovan here in Toronto.
Yeah, I guarantee Gagne was talked to before that play.
Dolegala still in a quarterback. We'll see if they alternate halves or quarters with Trey Ford. Dolegala back to pass. He will go to the far side. He'll have a completion to Mitchell, who will get knocked out of bounds, but not until he gets about 20 yards and a Hamilton first down.
Really nice protection from the Ticats there that Toronto's generally just been sending for. They've blitzed a couple times, but generally sending for, and they have been getting home. Ticats with really nice pass protection on that rep, gave Dolegala time to examine the field. LP Gauthier playing just a little bit inside in his zone, and there was space on the outside to make that completion.
They'll mark him out of bounds right at midfield. This will be, unless there's a penalty, the final play of the opening quarter. Mitchell spent last year on the Ticats PR after spending a year in Winnipeg. Dolegala, four-man rush, has some time, goes to the far numbers, and it is incomplete as he was looking for the touchdown maker, Juwan Newton. That is the final play of the opening quarter. Ticats win the quarter 7-0, but now we'll see what they can do into the wind. It is a major factor tonight. After one quarter, 7-0 Ticats. This is CFL football on CFL Plus.
Play bully ball, get to her, up for grabs and he catch it! Oh my goodness!
Second quarter underway. 7-0 Ticats through 15 minutes. Ticats now moving into a strong win. Dolegala drops back. Here's some pressure. It is thrown and picked off. Intercepted by Goss, and he's going to take it the distance. Owen Goss with the touchdown, and the Argos are a point away from tying it.
And Goss is going to get the flowers for the pick six, but you cannot forget about the pressure that was caused. Bell coming through the middle with a quick move, and he came plowing into the quarterback, Dolegala, and that sped up Dolegala's timing a little bit more than he wanted to, made an ill-advised throw, and it's 6 points for the Argos.
Hiralahu will come out to convert it. Owen Goss has just been that guy who you kind of didn't know much about when he came here. He's a rookie out of Arizona. And then first day you notice him, second day you notice him again, third day you notice him again. He's just been that guy who's been there every day. There are some jobs open this year. I don't think he's one. I think he's on this roster. And that's before that pick. Lyra misses one. Something he didn't do very much last year.
No.
But it is no good, and it is 7-6 Ticats, 33 seconds into the second half, or second quarter.
Yeah, just a really, really heads-up play from the linebacker, Goss. He saw that developing in front of him, saw the pressure coming too, knew that ball was going to come out quickly, and adjusted his own trajectory to be able to pick that one, and then had the speed, the athleticism to take the distance. But again, it starts with Bell. If he doesn't get that pressure, that's not a pick going the other way. And that's something Toronto's D-line tonight, they've been very good at that. We've seen Paris Chan in the backfield. We saw Bell there, obviously. Toia got in the backfield early to make a run stop. A lot of really good pressure from the Argos defense, and that's not something we said a lot last year. This is a revamped unit, that Toronto defensive line.
And under Demetrius Maxey, who's back after a year in Edmonton as the defensive line coach, it is probably the highest intensity group among the Argos and maybe the most vocal. They are just nonstop in their pressure. That's the way the Argos are going to play it this year. It's the way Mike Miller wants his team to be. It's the way defensive coordinator Greg Quick wants his group. And we know that's the way Maxey coaches his guys.
I was going to say, you know D-Max wants that pressure too.
Here's the kickoff, and it is going to be taken by Rowan back at the 5-yard line. And he'll come up the numbers to the 20, and he gets hit at the 24-yard line. Among those tackling is another kicker, Reed Martin.
I was watching him come down the field. I'm like, who is that? As I'm watching the play set up, I'm sort of seeing who's the free man, who's going to get in there. And like the hawk on that play was Reed Martin.
Reed Martin, we should point out, he's not very tall. He's listed at 5'10", might be a bit generous. He played DB as well. He had 107 tackles when he was at Edinburgh, the same school that produced Trevor Harris.
Yeah, he can move.
He's just, he threw some passes in college, like he's just that guy. And here's a flag out as once again they give the ball to Morrow. And it'll be a short gain, but a holding call, I assume, from where that flag was thrown.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Hamilton center with the hold. We'll have to wait and see.
Braden Zeman is a draft pick out of Calgary, a 4th-round selection this year. He's the top draft pick playing today for the Ticats. They took him in the 4th round, 34th overall, out of the Calgary Dinos. So it'll be a 1st down and 20 into the wind from their own 14-yard line. Trey Ford in at quarterback for the Ticats. 4 receivers come to the near side. And Ford's going to launch it down the far side, but it starts wobbling, flags down, and the ball is caught anyways. The ball absolutely got knocked around by the wind. It was a tight spiral for about 25 yards and then started to wobble badly.
It's going to be a penalty against Toronto, I'm almost certain, and a completed pass down that sideline.
Theron Johnson, the guilty party, late to camp. He signed on May 19th.
But that's the wrong read from Ford. He's got Morrow coming out to the flats, and he's just supposed to read the corner. If the corner goes with the deep man, you throw the flat route. Corner went with the deep man, but he threw the deep ball anyway and was rewarded for it.
Another rookie with a grab, Blaine Taylor out of Abilene Christian. Here's Ford rolling, throwing. It's incomplete. He's back now in Ontario, and there's something right about seeing Trey Ford in black and gold after starring at Waterloo, winning a Heck Crichton, and now reunited with Tyler Ternowski, who was his main target at Waterloo, and now they're together here on the Ticats.
And they did some damage on this field.
Oh, man. There have been some fast quarterbacks in U Sports. Nothing like him.
So much fun to watch.
I would be surprised if Chris Bertoya, the head coach, isn't here tonight. Back to pass is Ford under pressure. Eludes the pocket. He's going to run, get to the 45, and be taken down well short of the 1st down. And quickly, Scott Milanovic sends out the punt unit.
Toronto second level did a nice job making sure Ford couldn't turn it into something. When he rolled out to his right and broke contain, it looked like trouble for a second. But again, Toronto played that well. Ford is so much fun to watch. I love no matter what team he plays for. I'm excited for Ticats fans this year to get to see Ford up close, making plays. And you know he'll find his way into the football game for sure.
It was Parashand again. We mentioned him for the 2nd time tonight.
And that time out wide. Last time Shand was breaking through the middle of the O-line. That time out wide making a tackle.
Here's the kick, and again, the wind is going to play havoc with it, knock it down at the 26. Easy no yards call, and we're going to see Hicks take it out to the 31, but the Argos will get the benefit now of the ball being killed by the wind, as we'll take a quick break. 7-6, Ticats over the Argos, 3 minutes into the 2nd quarter. 12 minutes remaining here in the first half. Argos down by a point. Horn back in at quarterback. They give it to Hicks. Nice stutter step to get across the 45 to the 47, leaving a second and about 4.
That was an amazing move by Hicks. He had Benton coming down on him, but Benton wasn't touched at the line of scrimmage, playing inside in that 3-tech spot. And I thought he was going to get lit up for a 4-yard loss. Just a quick sidestep, and he had the speed to take it to the outside. 6-yard gain doesn't sound like much, but that could have easily been a 4 or 5-yard loss.
Bring in the extra receiver with Daimir Miller. Kassar comes to the sideline. Argos need almost 4 on second down. Movement at the line of scrimmage might be a freebie for Horn. He's going to take off and short of the first down out to the 49.
There might be a second flag in the secondary, or maybe the flag blew downfield off of the offside.
No, that was the offside flag 10 yards downfield.
Blew 10 yards. I think that was the defensive end Ugu.
Yeah, he
moved.
jumped.
Yeah.
He was watching the receiver, not quite used to the waggle yet, I would presume. I think it was Dejan Benton, I think. Oh, they got them both. That's Tyreek Quason, who was 6th rounder this year in the draft. He was a track guy at Laurier, played football as well. He was like the MVP of the track team, and then moved down the road to play for Windsor. Argos familiar with Windsor last year. They drafted 3 Lancers this year.
Yeah, you can imagine the excitement watching the Windsor film. That was a good team. Windsor Lancers football is fun to watch these last few years.
J.P. Cercelli's done a great job
Yeah.
with that program. Thrown over the middle. It is complete, and it is Solomon Davis with the catch. They've looked to him before earlier tonight. He will make the grab, and the rookie from Central Michigan will move the sticks.
Just a highly quarterback-friendly route. He just hooked up in between defenders, found some space, sat in it. The quarterback found him. You'd love to see that, and a nice connection there.
You talk about a late bloomer. Solomon Davis was on the JV team in high school until his senior year. First down from midfield. Horn's going to roll out. He'll get tripped up in the backfield. Moving in for the sack is Brian Ugwu, who was offside a little bit earlier. Atones for that with the sack. It will be second down at about 18.
Yeah, good pressure from the Ticats coming from around the edges. There was nowhere for the quarterback to go. He scrambled a little bit to his right, but that wasn't safe either. So it was inevitable. If he went left, he was going to get hit. Went right, he was going to get hit.
18 to get on second down. Not a lot of plays in the playbook for this one. We'll see if they can cut into it, though, with a strong wind at their back. 4 will go up top. Quason ISO down on the near side. Horn got drilled as he threw it in the direction of Stanley, and a flag comes out late. A very late call. And right in the middle of it again was Brian Ugwu.
Yeah, Ugwu.
Is it a high hit?
He hit Horn pretty hard. It didn't look late to me, so
no.
If that is a flag, it's probably helmet contact. I thought the timing of it was perfectly
100%,
fine. So
100%.
They must have seen helmet to helmet. I didn't see it from up here, but we'll take a look at the replay and tell you what we saw. Harper's had trouble with him. Back-to-back plays, yeah, it looks like he hit him in the front of the helmet. It didn't look egregious, though, or anything. We've seen that play not get called before, certainly. But, yeah, Harper at the left tackle spot, back-to-back plays now, had his hands full.
Argos down a point. They're in field goal range now with this wind. Look at it that way. Here's Hicks again. Nothing doing this time. As coming up to make the stick is Jordan Crook.
This unit right now for the Ticats, this defensive line has had some nice reps on this drive. And I know Toronto's been able to take advantage of penalties. They had a no play as well with flags on both sides. But that Ticats D-line right now is giving Toronto's offensive line some trouble.
The run limited to a half a yard. It'll be second and a long 9 or a short 10, depending on whether you're an optimist or a pessimist. 3 receivers up top. Flag again. Horn has a man over the middle and missed him. Just running an in route was Solomon Davis. He was there, and Horn jumps up and down in frustration.
Yeah, he had him. There was just a giant void that opened up, as it sometimes does in that deep zone coverage.
Another penalty, Cameron Bergeron, the rookie out of Duke.
Yeah, it was a hard count. They went on 2. They got the rookie to jump. Horn knew he had a free play there. I like that he was taking a deep shot. Better than the last time he had a free play, and he ran it himself and took a hit for a 1-yard gain. This is a much better philosophy. Take a deep shot if you know you got a flag coming.
Bergeron was with the Cats for a little bit last year on their practice roster. Second down and, again, short 5 or long 4. More pressure. Horn throws it near side, and it is knocked away. Was that contact early? Would like to see that one again. Certainly Damier Miller thinks it was early as he looked back at the official.
It was early. Yeah,
it looked like it from up here.
That was early. And that time Toronto actually did a good job picking up a blitz, gave their quarterback a little bit of time. Horn launched it downfield towards the sideline, and it looked to me like just a split second early. Again, not egregious, but we've seen that called before. But I'm okay with there not being a flag on every play also.
I agree, 100%.
That's fine.
So coming out for a 50-yard field goal attempt will be the veteran Liram Hairolahu. John Haggerty is the holder. Adam Guillemette is the long snapper. A veteran crew. Here's a flag and a second flag. Too many men, I would assume, as the kick is up and through, but this could be a first down if this is against the Ticats. And from where the flags were thrown, it's too many against somebody. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 Argos.
And 12 Ticats,
2, 4,
too.
6, 8,
I think
10,
this might be
12.
an alignment issue from the Ticats.
Maybe pyramiding?
I think
it came out too early for that.
Right on the snap. I think it was right on the snap.
Nice eyes, Hawkeye.
Yep.
First down Argos.
And that's one of those decisions as a coach where you just took the lead with the field goal, but you decide to keep the offense humming here. And I think it's an easier decision in preseason. Let's take a little bit more. Yeah. We know what Liram Hairolahu can do.
His job is safe.
Yes, maybe look at some of these other guys. So Toronto's going to take those 3 points off the board, see if they can turn those into 6 or 7.
Midway through the second quarter, Hogan and Grant with you here at the University of Guelph Alumni Stadium. The home away from home for the Argonauts for the first 2 months as well. Here's Hicks with a nice run, breaks it, and is it going to be Hicks for 6? Yes! Sam Hicks, the Fort Worth native, finds the end zone, and the Argos do turn 3 into 7.
Yeah.
Or at least 6.
At least 6. Doubled it up. Double down on that play. And I want to give some credit to both Tucker Horn and Damier Miller for selling that. Hicks came across the formation from right to left, but it was what was a fake block, a fake kick-out block from Damier Miller coming from left to right, and the hustle that Tucker Horn showed running out to his right at full speed that caused the linebackers to hesitate just for a second. That split-second hesitation was all that Hicks needed to be able to find the end zone.
And I will give someone credit for the Hicks for 6 call. Sam.
It's a great call. Hicks for 6.
So when I get in the end zone, it's Hicks for 6. Okay, fine. If you want it, let's do it.
Get in the end zone.
That's it?
Right. Well,
that's it. Give me a reason to say it. They're going to go for 2. And a bullet from Horn. It is caught on the in route by Tristan Reddy, the former Carleton Raven. And the Argonauts get back the point that they missed earlier and have taken a 14-7 lead with 6.5 remaining here in the half. That was a nice drive, penalty aided.
Yeah, there are a couple penalties on that drive. They took the 3 points off the board, but yeah, really nice finish. And that's a tough throw. That slant route in the end zone. You've got the halfback waiting there. There's a tiny, tiny window.
We'll scoot away. We'll come back and see if the Ticats can counterpunch. 14-7 Argos. Argos with a touchdown. Sam Hicks breaking one off. Here's the kickoff. And with the win, Hairolahu is deep, and it is taken by Rowan at the 5-yard line, up the numbers, near side. And he spins his way off a tackle, out to the 32, and whistles aplenty. And we're going to scoot away again for a very quick break. We'll come back and see what the Ticats can do into the win, trailing by 7. First down, Ticats at their own 32-yard line after the touchdown by Hicks. 14-7 Argos. Trey Ford in. Throws one out to Mitchell again, who's been busy tonight, out to the 34-yard line for a short gain. Should mention that the Argos finally get back home after the extended road trip on Thursday, August 6th, BMO Field against Calgary. All you can eat for $40. You get a ticket to the game, midfield upper deck, and all the food you can eat for $40.
That's an amazing deal for all you can eat.
Hot dogs, veggie dogs, pea meal bacon sandwiches, nachos, popcorn, soft drinks, water. Go full Joey Chestnut if you want. Back to passes forward, under pressure, down he goes. Back at the 32-yard line. A meeting at the quarterback, Jalen Bell, making his presence known again.
Yeah, it looked like he was looking for Newton out wide. A little bit of a pick route. Derek Sluka did a great job staying with him. He was in man coverage. He was able to slip underneath the pick and stay with his man, Newton, all the way out to the sideline. And, yeah, the read just wasn't there. Couldn't get rid of the ball.
Should mention Quincy Robbins is 78, not 76. Hate it when the jerseys start to
when they fold up.
Crawl up.
Those eights become sixes, or sixes become eights, I guess. Nines can become everything.
So now we'll see the punt into the wind. Haber with a nice kick. Got it to turn over into the wind. And it's going to be Miller on the return, and he'll get out to about the 40. Daimir Miller. That was a great kick into the wind.
Yeah, that's the best one we've seen tonight going this way into the wind. He got height on it and distance, and like you said, the ball turned over and dropped out of the sky.
The wind looks like it's finally receding a little bit, though. The telltales are still flat out. But the Canadian flag in the end zone in the north side seems, it's picking up again as soon as I say that.
I know.
We had a reprise.
It's going to be windy all night, but it should calm down a little bit as we get towards the fourth.
Tucker Horn will continue in at quarterback. First down from the 40. And they will go to the ground. And this time it is going to be the veteran Peyton Logan over from Winnipeg and Calgary. And he'll get 4 yards on first down.
As a play-by-play guy, how much do you like seeing an Argos receiver wearing red shoes and red gloves?
Yeah, oh yeah. Especially when there's 400 guys dressed.
Yes, that's a great way to identify yourself.
Yeah, so there will be a thank you card to Savon Ray. Thank you. I'm sure he'll be a little lighter in the wallet for that, but back to pass. Oh, swarmed. As Amari was noticed on that play. It's a loss of about 10, and it'll send out the punt unit.
Yeah, it's just pure strength on that. Just came flying through. There was a lot of trouble because there was trouble around the edge as well. There was absolutely nowhere for Tucker Horn to go. But what a move from Notice. That's power.
Beat the rookie Gavin Cokes, who was drafted a year ago, went back to UBC.
I love that option, by the way, for CFL draft picks who have that year of eligibility. I think that's great.
Once again, Kyrie's Rowan is going to return this, and this time it is the kicker / DB Reed Martin with the kick. It's a good one, but Rowan is going to turn on the near side across the 30 to the 34. And Daimir Miller, among others, in on the tackle.
So there's a number of different players asking for holding penalties on that. I saw what could have been a couple, but again, I'm all for no flags. That's okay. Let these guys play.
So I checked on how the sales were going for that all-you-can-eat deal. The first 20 rows at midfield are gone.
Awesome.
In the upper deck, and the first 7 rows in the section at the 35-yard line are gone.
They're gonna have to start making hot dogs at like 6 in the morning because there are gonna be some people are gonna plan for this. That's the kind of event you plan for. Make sure you got an empty stomach heading into that game.
We've hit the 3-minute warning, so we will scoot away momentarily. Argos up 14-7. You're watching preseason football here on CFL Plus. Three-minute warning has come and gone. Ticats will start 4 receivers to the near side. Trey Ford still in a quarterback, going long the other way, and it is caught with a flag down at the 40-yard line.
What a throw into the wind. That was on the money. That is not an easy throw. We've seen quarterbacks struggle with that throw all day, and he just cut through the air with that. He's got a rocket of an arm in good coverage. A flag was thrown on that. I didn't see anything in particular, but it's probably going to go against Toronto. I think that will stand. Hamilton will decline and take the ball at the 40.
That was Xavier Malone, who was here with the Argos in training camp last year, making a case to make the Ticats this year. We knew he could run, and he just showed it there. And as you mentioned, that throw was just perfect into the wind. Theron Johnson, the guilty party. Like I say, he came up here a week ago. 2 weeks ago now.
That's 2 on him today. I like him as a player. I think he's got real potential, but he's had to accelerate his learning.
Bunch formation to the right side, and They will go up the middle as Nari Biggins. Interesting number for a running back, 72, but the rookie from Central Michigan will get about 7. Call it 6. And Paris Shand again in on the tackle.
Shand has stood out tonight. I like the flexibility that he offers. You can play Shand kind of anywhere along that defensive line. It gives you some real nice options.
Also gives you some roster flexibility. You may only have to dress 7 defensive linemen. And they're going to go back to 72. Biggins will get the first down to the 26-yard line as the Ticats having a nice drive into the win behind Trey Ford.
They are. This is the best drive I think we've seen either team into the wind thus far tonight. And it's not just been on the ground. It's that deep ball through the air is what's taken up the majority of that yardage.
First down at the 25-yard line. Maybe in field goal range.
Yeah, depends. Depends on the moment you kick that ball. You never know.
Ford looks things over, drops back, 4-man rush, goes far, and has a man as they go to the 70s once again. This time it's Kyrese Rowan, who we've seen as a returner, and he'll make the catch there inside the 25.
And that's another nice play by Derek Sluka. It looked like that was going to be a big gain. I love the read there from Ford, finding the open guy, but Sluka covered ground in a hurry. He can get up to speed. Once he opens up, he can really make up ground. He did that there. I thought that was going to be a first down. Ended up only being a couple yards.
He was a safety last year. They've got him at Sam in behind Darius Pickett. He looks like a different player at that position. He's had a great camp. Back to pass. Ford under pressure, gets away. Rolling, looking, rolling, stopping. Oh, we saw this at BMO Field a couple of years ago, and he's going to launch it into the end zone. He's got an open man. Touchdown. Yogi Berra is quoted as saying, "It's deja vu all over again."
What a play from Ford.
Wow.
It looked exactly like that play we saw when he was in Elk at BMO Field a couple years ago. He rolled way out to his right, got in trouble, looked like it was going to be a problem for him as Reeves started to close on in, and then he just reversed field, ran from one sideline to the other, and found a man deep behind coverage, and again was able to get the ball there. That ball traveled about 50 yards in the air to get it to the opposite side of the end zone, and it's a touchdown.
Second touchdown of the game for Jawan Newton. That was crazy. That's just not normal. And he threw it from the far hash mark, the far college hash mark, to the near corner. Conversion is good, and the Ticats have tied it up with $1:22 left in the opening half. Trey Ford is fun to watch, man. He just is.
And just when, it's funny, we were just talking about Sluka playing the Sam linebacker spot. I was just about to sing his praises there because with that flexibility he offers, he actually dropped back to safety on that play. Toronto rolled defensive coverage. Sluka dropped back from Sam to deep middle, and they had it covered. The coverage was great, but the coverage can't last for 15 seconds, and that's the problem.
Well, if you like big plays, hasn't been a bad game for you tonight. Even now, not just the scoring plays, but the scoring plays, the 2 Hamlin touchdowns, a 51-yard touchdown from Dola Gallo to Newton, and then Newton from Ford, only 24 yards, but a play that took about 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you have the 48-yard pick six for the Argos from Goss, and then the Hicks run from 37 yards. So big plays all over the place for both teams, and what has been a lot more entertaining game than the one we saw last week.
Yeah, it just wasn't possible last week. Like we were sitting up in the broadcast booth at Hamilton Stadium, and that rain was unlike anything I've seen in a long time.
I've never been happier to not call a game. Rain on the windows. The TSN television booth almost flooded. Short kick is taken at the 40-yard line across the 50 to midfield. So the Argonauts will get good field position to start with 1:18 remaining in a tie game. And again, the wind is picked up, so Argos flirting with DeMarcus Johnson. That's who entered. I was one of the upbacks. I couldn't tell who it was.
Well, as that ball was in the air, it was getting knocked down. Johnson was looking around for a man to block, and then he looked up and suddenly saw the ball was right there. And so he was like, I better catch this thing. And he turned it into a good return. You know he's going to go right to Mickey Donovan and say, you see, I should be back there.
First down in midfield. Horn still in. Tipped and picked. Intercepted. Went high in the air. And the Ticats are going to take advantage of that. And that was Owen Hubert, I believe, with the pick. It was.
It might have been Hubert who actually tipped it initially. I couldn't see who. I think
it was.
I think Hubert tipped it. He realized he wasn't going to be able to get home. He was well blocked, and so he stepped back, tried to get into that throwing lane, did it successfully, got some air, tipped the ball into the air, and then chased it down to make that pick. That's a great play from Hubert.
He played every game last year for Hamilton. He was on the roster for all 18 games. From Norwood, Ontario, he went to Mac, so staying in the Hamilton area, obviously. First down at their own 46-yard line, and back to pass is Trey Ford. And he'll come to the near side, and oh boy! They're going to rule out an incomplete pass, as coming in like he was shot out of a gun was Anthony Wilson. Big contact, incomplete pass.
I briefly thought that might be a catch and a fumble with Gray jumping on that from the corner spot, but no, he didn't have it long enough. Really good pressure from Toronto. Forced Ford to make a throw he probably shouldn't have made because his receiver was just nailed as soon as he touched the football.
I thought that might be helmet to helmet at first, but he got the helmet outside the shoulder, it looked like. Textbook, 2nd and 10 from the 47. Minute 3 remaining as Ford drops back. 4-man rush. Steps up in the pocket. Look out. He's going to take off and get tackled at the 53-yard line. Nice job to bring him down. And that was... They're going to give it to Jonathan Kongbo on the tackle.
Kongbo's a nice add for Toronto this season. I'm excited to see him play. On that play, you're happy to give Ford.
That wasn't Kongbo.
Yeah.
Oh, Compo.
Oh,
okay.
Compo.
It was
Okay.
Compo. Okay.
But 5-yard run on 2nd down for Ford. You'll take that every time. Nice communication in the secondary. Sluka back there with Tyshawn Blackburn. They had everything locked down over top.
Janarian Grant back to his own 14-yard line. And this is going to be McCarthy, the NCAA champion, with the kick. And coming to the near side, flags. And Janarian Grant's going to step out of the 31-yard line. This one's coming back. We've got an injured Argo on the far side of the field. All you want as a coach is to get out of this injury-free.
Yeah, that's you want a few things on a night like this. But, yeah, number one is always you want everyone to be healthy. Guys that you're keeping, guys that you're going to have to let go. You want to get everyone out of this game healthy. And then after that, you're hoping for a good football game that helps you evaluate those last-minute decisions you're trying to make. That is a penalty against Toronto. That's going to move them back pretty deep. I think you're right about the wind, by the way. I think this wind is dying down. Those last few kicks we've seen now, and again, I don't want to take anything away from the Hamilton punter, but the last few kicks we've seen have not been affected the same way the earlier ones have. And we've seen some of those passes, too, from Ford. And again, not to take anything away from his arm strength, but it is not quite the same as what first Arbuckle, then Horn, and then Dolagala had to deal with as well.
So the injured player is Weabe Mambo. We talked about the Windsor draft picks this year. They had 3 of them. Mambo, the running back, scored a touchdown in Hamilton a week ago in the win over the Ticats.
Mambo was a fun player to watch at Windsor, too. A guy that seemed like he got a first down every time he touched the football, and he just about averaged that.
But his most memorable touchdown last year came on a fumble recovery.
Right.
As the quarterback in the playoff game against Ottawa, in the last minute, going in for the touchdown, dropped the football, and the first guy to it was Mambo for a game-winning touchdown in a playoff game in the last minute.
Yeah, bananas.
Just the way they drew it up.
That was a great game, though.
So Horn will remain in the game. He's got Peyton Logan standing to his right. And they'll run a draw play, and Logan will get across the 10 to the 17-yard line. A couple of years ago, he had 1,600 combined yards with Calgary, signed with Winnipeg, got hurt, and then, I don't know, the guy that replaced him won the most outstanding special teams player of the year. Rookie of the year, just had that year. So Logan looking for a bounce-back season here in Toronto.
I love him on draw plays. He sells that so nicely. That's not just the quarterback that's got to sell that. The running back sells it too. He's looking for someone to block, and then suddenly he takes off with the ball.
Second, and we'll call it 4, and it's Logan with a stutter step. Bubbles back and will get the first down and more across the 30.
And for the second time tonight, it was a quarterback making the key block on a big run play. That time Tucker Horn kicked out his man, really nicely read by Logan, sees his guy making the block, reads it right, and is able to get some yardage.
But that is the final play of the first 30 minutes, and we're going to leave it tied at 14. We'll come back after the timeout and find out who can win the second half as the two teams prepare for their regular season opener. It's 14-14, Argos and Ticats right here on CFL Plus.
There's really no ceiling for football. It's something that I'm actually good at, but it's also something that I continue to get better at.
Football is motivating to me because it challenges me mentally, emotionally, physically. I'm part of something bigger than myself.
I really love this game. I'm not just doing it for the money. I continue to chase my dream regardless of how hard it got. I have so much fun playing this game. There's nothing else like this.
All you gotta do is look to your left and your right, when you're in a meeting room with your teammates. That's enough motivation.
My dad passed when I was 10, and I didn't know how to really deal with the issue. So football kind of was like the only way I could express myself and yell and scream and not be getting in trouble for, doing something crazy, like hitting somebody. And like when I put the helmet on, it was just like I was in my own space. Like nobody could say nothing else to me. Like everything else didn't matter no more. I was just me in the field, and I could potentially change my whole family life with this.
You gotta be sincere, you gotta be real, you gotta be yourself.
I was put on this earth to play this game, and I've believed since I was 6 years old, and still believe to this day.
I owe a big credit to my dad. I owe a big credit to my mom. Sacrificed so many things to be able to see me live out my dream. I've been going at this since I've been 5 years old.
What do you want to be when you're older? I want to be a ball player, and a damn good one. I'm very passionate about this game. That is my superpower.
Life has changed drastically from losing my dad, going from the third string to first string to, what people are saying, being the franchise quarterback. You gain friends, you gain brothers during this sport. That's why we all gel so tight, because we all got something that we've been through, that brought us here.
Remembering my younger self, having school visits and seeing those star players, come to your schools, and now I get to be in those shoes.
Hopefully able to inspire more generations of players and continue to grow this game and capture what makes this game so great.
It's such an amazing league. It's given me so many amazing opportunities, built so many amazing friendships and relationships from this game.
It's the best game in the world, and you should be playing it with joy.
And we're back for second half action. 14-14, Argos and Ticats. Argos get a 48-yard pick six from Mr. Goss. And then Sam Hicks with a touchdown from 37. They were sandwiched by a pair of Hamilton touchdowns, a 51-yard touchdown from Dolagala to Newton, who squeezed one in between two defenders. And then Newton would catch a second one from Trey Ford. And I assume you're going to be seeing the replay again and again and again and again and again.
It's always against the Argos somehow with Trey Ford. But how many times do we see that other one? And this one's only going to add to it. That was a good first half of football. Preseason games are hit and miss. Yeah. And, last week we had the weather. This was a very good first half of preseason football. I enjoyed it.
Argos are going to get the ball and the wind to begin the third quarter of play. And it will be Hicks and Miller back. And it will be Dymere Miller taking it at the 32-yard line, far side. Numbers 40, 43. And that's where the Argos will put it in play. And as we spin the wheel of quarterbacks, it will be, once again, Tucker Horn coming out for some more action. He played most of the first half.
He looked good in the first half, I thought. His stats don't necessarily reflect the play that he offered, but he did a couple things that were more than just passing the football. We got in on a block that we talked about at the end of the half, but also had some nice follow-up, carrying out his fakes. And I think one of those plays actually contributed to the Sam Hicks touchdown. 4
of 9 for just 37 in the limited work he had in the opening half. He's going to roll to the near side, have a man on the sidelines, and did Tristan Reddy catch that? No. It looked like he was trying to grab it on the way down behind him, but he could not hang on. He made a catch in preseason at almost that exact spot, diving, and was able to get both feet down. Just couldn't squeeze it there at 2nd and 10.
He had it initially, and it just kind of bobbled out of his hands. I thought he was going to pin it against his leg for long enough to be a catch, but just lost it at the last second.
And there's where you look at the stats of Horn, now 4 of 10. That one's not on him.
Right.
That one's on Reddy. Coming in as a rookie out of Carleton. 2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Horn steps up, dumps it off. He's got a man in Peyton Logan to midfield, almost a yard shy of the first down. I assume they will go for this. It is a preseason game. Mike Miller walks right up to the stick, looks at it. It's 2 feet, and they're going to go for it.
I like what they've been doing. Those first 2 plays, getting Horn out of the pocket. The Hamilton pass rush is coming in very aggressively, and they're able to escape.
They spread the receivers, and Horn will get the first down across midfield. My name is Mike Hogan, along with Ben Grant. If you're just tuning in, we're the Argo radio team with you here tonight for the stream. Along with tonight, a cast of 1,000. Our thanks to Jake and Mateo and Eric, Morgan, Will, Johnny, Miguel, Adam, Jenna, Ember, Hugh, and Neil. That's our crew tonight, bringing you this game from the University of Guelph. Thanks to the crew. We're just the talking heads up here. You guys make us look good as we can look. That's offside on the Argos, and it won't matter because it gets blown up in the backfield. As everything that could go wrong did, and Brian Ugwu was in there. He's been busy tonight as well.
Oh, you hate, as Mambo, who took the hit from Ugwu, you hate to take a hit like that and know that it wouldn't have even mattered anyway because you were offside.
The good thing for Mambo is he's up.
Yeah.
He was injured at the end of the first half, and, he got filled in.
Yeah, and these guys all know they're fighting for jobs. You'll see guys push through the pain. It often doesn't feel good playing a football game, but these guys are muscling through. There's a lot on the line tonight.
Well, he's playing for a job, right?
Yep.
Whether a roster spot or a spot on the practice roster, Horn is going to dump it off, and he's got Mambo, who's going to get across midfield, across the 50. Where are they going to mark him out? At the 49-yard line, 4 yards shy of the first down, but he gets the sack yardage back. And sets up a 3rd and 4, and Mike Miller is going to send out Nathan Walker and the punt unit.
was another nice play, though, from Tucker Horn. Initially good pass protection from the Argos. Eventually noticed, got in from the left side, but Horn sensed it, scrambled out to his right, bought a bit of time, and was able to check it down. It got decent yardage on that. Had they not lost so much in that first down play, they would have had an easy first down.
He will punt. At the end of the game, it may be worth a shot because the wind is gusting right now behind his back. And there's a high kick that will corkscrew down inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. Stutter step and go.
Oh.
What an open field tackle downfield. As getting downfield to make that tackle was James Caesar, who has made some great plays in camp, and he just made one on special teams as he was able to get Xavier Malone and trip him up. We'll take the timeout. 11:48 remaining in quarter 3. Tie game. We'll come right back.
This season, don't just watch the CFL, run your own team. Introducing the all-new fantasy game from the Canadian Football League. Create a league with your friends or jump into a public one with other CFL fans. Draft your squad of CFL stars. Build your lineup. Make trades, waiver pickups, and game day decisions all season long. Set your lineup and make moves that turn everyday fans into fantasy legends. Play head-to-head matchups and compete for the ultimate bragging rights. CFL Fantasy presented by the Score Bet. Draft like a GM, win like a champion. Sign up and draft your team today.
Ticats will get the ball for the first time here in the second half. Tie game. They start deep in their own zone and will go running game. Not much doing at all there. These two teams are going to meet in Toronto on Saturday, August 22nd. It's the annual CNE game. So you buy a ticket to the Argo game, you get into the CNE for free. It's one of the great deals of the summer. And also that night will be all-time Argo induction night. They're going to do that at halftime. 2 players will be going in this year. The voting is underway. If you're an alumnus, join the Alumni Association and vote. It ends on June 12th. Pass to the near side. It is caught. Nice grab along the sideline as another one of the 70s makes the grab. Kyrese Rowan, who has been busy both as a receiver and as a returner tonight. That's his third catch.
He's got that great height to see over everything happening in front of him. The Argos ran a twist there. He could see everything develop. He knew he had time. It was picked up well, and he could still see his receivers deep downfield to make that play.
Should mention Argonauts.ca if you're interested in single-game tickets or seasons. Dolagala has the first down across the middle. He's out to the 41-yard line. And that was Jalen Gill, another rookie. This went out of Fresno State. He just signed in April. Spent some time with the Chargers and Browns in the NFL.
That C&E game is the greatest deal. I know the all-you-can-eat game is a fantastic deal, too.
Yeah.
But that C&E game, and with it being the Ticats, is fun. I know my family's already talked about going, and they've got plans to be there that day.
You just want to go to the all-you-can-eat.
Yeah.
We'll be working that day. Ground game, not much at all as they go behind the guard on the near side. Maybe a yard.
We're going to need a runner that day, someone to bring hot dogs up to the booth for all-you-can-eat day. I'm going to buy a ticket anyway.
The sad thing is it's on the other side of the field from our booth.
Well, it's got to be a good runner.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to wear him out. Second down, 9 to go. Dolagala looks things over. 3 receivers up top. 4 rushing. Dolagala looking far sideline, and it is either overthrown or underthrown. He had a couple of receivers over there. Myron Mitchell was there, as was Rowan, and it fell between them. It'll be 3rd down and 9. And out comes the punt return team for the Argos.
You know, very quietly made a nice play on that was Ed Woods, who was knocked out of the game early with an injury. I hadn't seen him back in much, but he was out there playing halfback where he started the game. Just made a really nice play in coverage, made Dolagala look in the other direction.
It will be Daimir Miller dropping back. A Rutgers product, just like Janarian Grant. It's a low wobbler, returnable. Taken at the 29-yard line, right up the gut to the 40, to the 45, a spin move to the 50, across midfield, one man to beat, flag after he had beaten his man. I assume that's coming back.
If this is a flag on Casey, that is not a good call. I think that's what they're going to call, though. Casey came across and was very conscious not to have a peel back block. He ran across with his arms in the air, running in a straight line. If that was what they saw, I have a problem with it. Now, there may have been something else in there that I didn't see, so we'll have to see what that call was. But
Casey was just talking to Mickey Donovan over here on the near sideline, the special teams coordinator. 86, they probably mean 36.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure that's what they threw, and that's just not a good call.
So the Argos, like the Ticats the week before, get one taken off the board. We'll come back and see if the Argos can break the tie. You're listening and watching preseason CFL football on CFL Plus. Fourteens on the board, nearing the midway point of the third quarter. Argos will take over at their own 50 after the penalty against Casey. Though they announced it against Damate Coxey, who's not in the lineup. Horn's going to run the ball himself and get about 4 yards. Ticats have been more effective passing the football tonight. 218 yards between Dolagala and Ford. So they are doing that without Bo Levi Mitchell. The Argos doing it without Chad Kelly tonight. They have but 58 passing yards.
I don't know what the plan was on that play, but it looked like it was supposed to be a handoff, and Tucker Horn ended up with a situation where he still had the ball and just ended up having to follow his running back. A little bit of a miscommunication, I think.
Second down, 6 to go from just their own side of midfield. Horn now flushed out of the pocket, gets hit as he throws. And an incomplete pass. And out comes the punt unit once again. Wind has picked up again. It was nonstop, heavy in the first half. There was a little bit of a lull at the beginning of this quarter, but now The flags in the end zone are absolutely flat out.
Horn took a big hit on that play.
Yeah.
He's been hit a number of times. That time it was Reimer was at left tackle. He struggled. Whoever they've had at left tackle tonight, and it's been rotating, has had trouble with that blind side.
Snap is good. Long kick is going to go into the end zone with a flag down, and it will bounce out. No. Dangerous move by the Ticat returner as he just watched it bounce back toward the goal line, but it does go out of bounds.
We've seen some interesting special teams plays tonight.
Let's see what the flag is.
We've seen some interesting flags tonight, too.
That again, there was good hang time on that flag with the wind.
Yep.
It looks like it's against Hamilton. So Darius McKenzie is the guilty party for the Argos. We'll take the timeout. 7 minutes left in third quarter. We're still tied. It's Argo football. Back. 7 minutes left here. Third quarter. Hogan and Grant with you. Watching the Ticats and Argos in the resumption of the Battle of the QEW. Dolegala goes to the far sideline, and it is over the head of the intended target. I don't know what his status is on the Ticats, but Myron Mitchell has been used and thrown at often tonight. And they used him, that's his sixth target of the evening. 3 catches for 26 yards, and they had him out on returns to start the game.
And that's not the first time tonight we saw pressure from Bell on the interior, speeding up that throw a little bit. He's been in Dolegala's mind, as he has been in Trey Ford's mind.
That's going to be tough decisions when it comes to roster construction for the D-line. Dolegala, again, overthrows the intended receiver. Again, they were looking for Mitchell. And again, the Ticats are going to have to punt into a very strong wind.
Yeah, and that's just, we haven't seen quarterbacks complete that throw all night, that quick out to the high side of the field into this wind. It's been so tough. We saw Arbuckle overthrow one, muscle one through, Ford as well. Dolegala's done it a couple times. That is just not the place to go with the way the wind is flying in here from left to right.
Like with the D-line we're seeing tonight, we're seeing Shand and we're seeing Ojo, the young Canadians, but we're not seeing, Ralph Hawley. We're not seeing Dwayne Hendricks, who's a little nicked up. We're not seeing Congo. We're not seeing Andrew Chatfield. Guys expected to be a part of the 7 or 8 as we get a whistle here.
This is going to be
time count?
Yep. Delay of game here.
We welcome you to the 35-second clock era of CFL football.
And that's where it's hardest, is the special teams. The offenses haven't really struggled getting the plays in, but where we've seen penalties across the league so far in preseason has been getting that punt unit on and off.
There's been a really good flow to this game, especially for a preseason game.
Yes.
So once again is Mitch McCarthy.
Oof.
That one just wobbles in the wind, takes a Hamilton bounce, and it will be out to the 43-yard line. That is Damir Miller. And that's where the Argos will take over. Oh, kick from McCarthy. He had a heck of a game in the national championship game for Indiana last year. 5 punts. He averaged over 48 yards a punt, with 2 of the 5 going out inside the 20.
Yeah.
That's a good night.
Yeah, he's not the only one that people were raving about with Indiana. What a team that was last year. They were fun to watch.
I talked to Aaron Casey, who went to Indiana as well, graduated a couple of years ago, and he was just stoked watching his teammates win a national championship. Back to pass is Horn. He hops one in the general direction of Reddy, and it will be an incomplete pass as the Argos can't get any kind of flow going on offense. And again, they're going without their 5 starting offensive linemen. So
yeah, there's not a lot of starters out in that group right now. But again, these guys are competing for jobs. They're good football players. We've seen good moments. We've seen certainly some really nice moments from Horn tonight, and he's trying to show the coaches what he can do and why he should be in there as one of the quarterbacks.
2nd down and 10 from their own 43. 4-man rush. Horn was off balance as he got rid of the football, but completed it out to the 50-yard line. They will be 3 yards short as Dre Miller, I believe, made that catch.
Ugwu has been a problem for them. They've had trouble with Ugwu all night, and there he came on a twist from the outside and was basically untouched up the middle. Got right into Horn's face, who had to speed up that throw. Couldn't go deeper than he ended up going, and that was too short for the first down.
So Reed Martin will come in to kick. And Xavier Malone, the Argo for a little bit here in training camp last year, is back there. High kick. It will wobble down inside the 15. And Xavier's going to take it and try to go wide to the right side. And will he be able to get outside and get the corner? No, but 1-2 flags come out, thrown at the same spot on the field. And generally that's not good for the returning team. Inside 4 minutes left in quarter 3. We'll scoot away for a second and come back with the Ticats possession in a tie game.
You want to play bully ball? Get your ass over. Oh my goodness! He's getting on, baby! Let's go!
Ticats start deep in their zone after the illegal blocking penalty. It'll start back at the 9-yard line. Play action. Dolagala throws it underneath. Has a man at the 10 who regains his balance and will get close to first down.
I think the
yardage.
Argos had the ball.
Did that come out? I
That
think
came out.
was
I don't know if he
Robinson.
was down first or not. The Argos definitely have the football, but was he down when that ball came out is the question. I think the officials were caught off guard. I don't think they realized that the ball came out. That leads me to believe he was down first.
It was a veteran, Javoni Robinson, who made the catch and coughed it up. And
meanwhile, the Argos Robinson was the one putting the pressure on Dolagala there.
And the Argos are not going to challenge. And it will set up a second and less than a yard. Well, Dolagala did run their short yardage last year, so this is standard procedure for the 6'7" pivot. They empty out the backfield and go behind the right guard with flags out.
This is one of two things.
There's a flag.
And a late flag.
You cannot push that late.
The initial flag, I think the Argos lined off offside. But that second flag, we'll wait and see who's getting charged here.
So there'll be a dead ball foul.
Yeah.
So this could be a first down, and then they move it back 15. First down with the offside, then back 15.
Yeah.
I'll hear the call first from Andrew Wakefield. There you go.
We rarely get one penalty call right. For us to get two in one play, this is a moment we better write down.
Aside from doing whatever I'm doing here, I do the I'm communications manager for the Argos. So as a CFL employee, we have to go through a series of videos every year for different policies. One of them is on officiating. And they made a point of talking about those silly little pushes afterwards. Don't do it. And that's a perfect one for next year's video. Dolagala's going to run here and will get the first down out across the 20 to the 25. And the big man rumbled a little bit and moved the sticks. Well, that was the other Hamilton quarterback tonight that was supposed to be that guy.
Yeah, I know. Ford struggled to get first downs when he ran. Now he threw the ball very well. Yeah. But Dolagala seems to be the runner tonight, getting first downs. There's a lot to like about Jake Dolagala. He's got that great height. He can rifle the football, and he moves fairly well for a big guy. He can get going. So he just hasn't quite been able to pull it all together.
On first down, looking for the quick hitter. Has it. Full stride and a big gain here for the Ticats. Inside Argo territory, inside the 40 goes Jalen Gill.
That briefly looked like it was going to be a pick. I believe it was Pollard coming across. He saw what was happening in front of him, decided to go for the ball instead of the man, just missed it, and that's what led to the huge gain. Big run after catch for Hamilton.
And just like that, Jake Dolagala's got 181 passing yards. Another 94 for Trey Ford. 2 touchdowns, 1 each, and Dolagala threw a pick 6. Going with a tight end now, and going to see if they can run the football. And bouncing with a spin move is Biggins, and he'll take it down to the 35-yard line. Nari Biggins out of Central Michigan with a nice run. Only results in a 3-yard gain, but it could have been a loss.
Dolagala spent time with the Cincinnati Bengals. That was where I first noticed him. And I think every coach that he's had along the way sees all of these great attributes that he's got. They're like, we can do something with this guy. But he has bounced around a lot. He's been part of a lot of different systems. And hopefully he can find a place to settle. Maybe it's in Hamilton and really grow his game.
From the 36. Newton goes in motion. He's got a couple of touchdowns tonight. Dolagala goes the other way and throws a little high and a little behind the intended receiver, going back-to-back with Jalen Gill.
Caesar was in coverage there, stumbled a bit, but he did well just to let the receiver know he was there. I think he actually hit him in the ankles, and I think that rattled him a little bit. He knew the hit was coming and just took his eyes off the ball too soon. Well, this is going to be interesting.
Into the wind. 43.5. Good luck.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't see this going through. The way that ball has been getting knocked down tonight, he's going to have to pound. He's going to have to hit this as though he's trying to kick a 65-yard field goal.
This is Zach Copeland, the rookie out of the Ottawa GGs. The wind has been knocking balls down regularly in the pregame and at halftime when the kickers came out. And the wind, of course, picks up for the poor kid as soon as he gets out there. The telltales are parallel to the ground, and they're going to take the penalty and maybe say punting isn't a bad idea.
I think it looked like
trying to drive them offside.
No, I think they were waiting to see if the wind would. If the wind died, you take the snap, and that's what it looked like to me because it looked like they planned to kick that.
They needed 6. If you get the offside, if they jump trying to block it, then it's a 3rd and 1.
But I didn't see them run any of the games that you do when you're trying to get them to jump.
Gotcha. Well, that's the end of quarter number. No. Get back, A-team. Get back, A-team. They've got to run the play here. Make them kick into the wind. There we go. You had an A-team theory earlier?
Well, you know how they do the T-shirt throw, which everybody loves, the T-shirt throw. I was watching them earlier. They'll listen to one section, listen to the other section, and presumably throw it to the louder section.
Yeah.
I don't think they're actually doing that. I think they're just randomly throwing it. I was watching them carefully. I don't think they're listening. I do love the A-team, though.
You have a strange brain. They're going to go for it here. Dolagala's going to throw to the 40, and they're going to be short of the first down, and the Argos will take over on downs at the 32-yard line. And maybe this is a product of the non-rouge going for it on 3rd down, even though they needed 12 yards. We'll take the timeout. End of the 3rd quarter, 14s after a scoreless 15. You are watching preseason football on CFL Plus. Fourth quarter beginning, we get flags aplenty to start as Anthony Gershio comes in as the quarterback. Rush Reimer gets the call, the rookie out of Cal.
I thought Reimer looked good in spots last week. He struggled a little bit today, but there's definitely something to his game. I think he's a player that based on how hard it is to find tackles in this league, if the Argos don't keep him, I think someone will want to take a look at him.
Gershio played at Clarion, was all conference last year, has a unique throwing motion. Drops down to the side. They go ground game here and nothing doing. It will be second down and long.
Hamilton was just sitting on run. Everybody who was playing run, everybody came up to make that stop. It's sort of the stereotype. You got your new quarterback in the game, a young guy. You want to start him off with a run play to settle him down. It looked like Hamilton was thinking along those same lines.
Charbel DeBeer had the tackle. Second down and about 15 going into a strong wind. Gershio has a lot on the football. He can run too, but he will throw with that sidearm motion and complete it for the first down as Dymere Miller has the grab, moves the sticks.
He's a fun quarterback to watch. He's got good speed. He rolled out there, and I thought he was going to go. I think some of the Hamilton defenders thought he was going to go. There was space, but then he saw a flash of white as his receiver, Miller, came across the formation or came across the field, rather, and connected for that big play.
Argos going with a tight end on the far side. And they will run a toss inside, and this is Solomon Davis across the 50. Didn't quite get to midfield. It'll be second down, and he got about halfway to the first down.
Great timing. That's exactly what you want the mesh point to look like. Davis came across at full speed, tossed it to him where Davis was going 100 miles an hour. But, yeah, really nice play from Hamilton to be able to sniff that out. Ford Dement, I think, was the one that tracked him across the field and made that tackle.
Davis showed off his explosion this week in teams. Took a quick hit and just went. And it was everybody kind of went, whoa.
You can see his speed.
Gershio now, look out. And he will get caught from behind and brought down at the 45-yard line. As the Argos O-line continues to have some problems tonight.
That one was tough. That's cover 0. Everybody's coming. There's an unblocked defender because of it, just due to numbers. Gershio almost got out of there. I thought he might have drawn a face mask. Looked like his head was yanked back there, but apparently not.
Cameron Bergeron will get the sack. The rookie out of Duke. And coming in to kick will be Reed Martin. Went to Plum High School that also produced one Mike Miller, head coach, almost blocked. It'll wobble down, take an Argo bounce inside the 30. And taken down at the 30. Good coverage downfield. Tyler Common, the receiver, downfield to make the tackle. Will scoot away and take the timeout with 12:01 remaining in this game. 14's on the clock. You're watching preseason action on CFL Plus. 12 minutes remaining here, fourth quarter. Ticats take over at their own 31-yard line in a tie game. And it's Trey Ford back in at quarterback, and he's going to run to the left. He's got some room, 40, 45, stepping out of bounds after a gain of 14. Call it 15.
You see that speed that he offers. He was flying. Ojo actually looked pretty good. He was the one in pursuit. Ojo didn't catch him, but he stayed with him. He's got a motor. You forget how fast a player he was. Watching him in playing university football, you could see him move. He's an athlete.
He was the Argos' first-round pick a year ago. Played special teams, but rarely, if ever, got on the field last year. And I know Demetrius Maxey has liked what he has seen so far. Getting him some reps here in this game. He'll line up at the end on the near side. First down and 10 from their own 46. Ford play action, rolling near side, wants to go long and has a man, and it will be caught down at the 15-yard line. That was a great adjustment by Jalen Gill, who turned over and looked over his left shoulder first, then had to turn around and come back to the ball. And he was open from the get-go. What a throw again by Trey Ford.
And that time Ojo lost contain. Ford escaped to his right, was able to set his feet, and he didn't have to make a perfect throw because he knew that the DB wasn't looking his way, Tyshawn Blackburn, and the receiver was. So he just threw it up to him. The receiver adjusted. Defender couldn't see it. Catch.
In the red zone, first down Ticats. Tie game here in the fourth. And they will go running game again and get 2 or 3 as Biggins again is the ball carrier.
We've seen Biggins bounce the ball out a couple times, and it's one of those things where at different levels that will work an athlete like Biggins with his size and speed combo. But in the CFL, it's just so hard when you try to bounce it so often. These guys are so athletic, especially the defensive end spot. They're going to chase you back inside, and there's going to be a linebacker or a D tackle waiting to take you down like we saw there.
4 carries for 20 yards for Biggins tonight. Second down and 8, we'll call it, from the 13. Ford going end zone, touchdown. Easy pitch and catch, and the Ticats will take the lead. And why not the hat trick for Newton? He's got 3 touchdowns tonight.
That's a nice play by Ford. He looked the safety off. Argos in cover 1. He looked Tyshawn Blackburn out to the right and then fired back to the left. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it. Find your good matchup.
I don't know what the plans for Newton were coming into this game.
Yeah, I know. He's had a day, though. If he wasn't on the must-keep list, I think he's probably going to give the Hamilton coaches something to think about.
The toughest one was the first one where he was sandwiched by 2 Argo defenders. I have no idea how the ball got through the defenders.
No.
But he caught the ball, turned around, and ran into the end zone for the last 20 yards or so as the extra point is made. Then he had the 24-yard touchdown on the remarkable play by Ford, and that one. And it's now 21-14 after the conversion with 9:16 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's Argos and Ticats on CFL Plus. preseason for the broadcast crew as well. We both thought that went in. They are saying that the extra point was missed, so it's 20-14 for the Ticats. 9:16 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kickoff with the wind isn't that deep, and it will be taken by Dimitri Stanley. 25-30, 35-40. Wants to cut it outside. He'll get close to the 50-yard line.
I like that explosion from Stanley. Patiently waiting, and then as soon as he saw a gap, he exploded through it. That's a really nice return, especially going into the wind. This is great field position for Toronto, down 6.
I wrote about Stanley in camp as one of the guys that kind of caught your eye as a receiver. He's had some really good things happen, especially with Chad Kelly, but he's had some sort of chemistry with all of the quarterbacks, all 4 of them. Interesting guy to watch tomorrow when the cuts come out. And here goes Gershio, and he's going to run 50 to the 47-yard line, showing off the speed. That's the one thing that has really impressed everybody in camp is how damn fast he is.
Yeah, he can move. And back to your comment on Stanley, when you have chemistry with 4 different quarterbacks, that's no longer chemistry. It's just you might just be a good football player at that point.
Nice juke move as well to get the first down to the 46-yard line. Got a tight end to the near side in Kassar. They'll run behind him. It's Peyton Logan looking to get the edge. And we'll get down to around the 40. Knocked out of bounds at that mark. And it will be a 6-yard gain.
That's a nice run from Logan. He was waiting for a moment to cut. Looking as he stretched that play wide for a moment to cut up. It never came. And so he just turned on the jets and got around the edge. Couldn't quite turn it, but enough to get a pretty good gain.
It was weird in practice. But when you know the story behind it, you understand it. There was a completion a couple of days ago to Kassar, right? Loudest cheer by the defense as one of their own has flipped from linebacker to tight end / fullback, and they were loving that he made the catch. And now here's Gershio again. He's going to roll and look and turn the corner to the 40 and get the first down. There's that speed again. Down to the 36.
He's fast.
Yes.
He's fast.
Very fast.
And again, we talked about that earlier, how Dolagala ran for a first down. Trey Ford is the fastest quarterback in this game. There's no question. But, he hasn't had the big runs tonight. He's had the big passes. It's some of the other guys, Dolagala and Gershio.
But the thing that he and Ford have in common is when they do run, they're so smooth.
Yeah.
Right? They're not herky-jerky, not arms all over the place. It's very compact, and they're very light on their feet. First down, play action. Gershio swings it to the far side, has a man on the comeback route inside the 20, and it is caught for the first down.
Great patience. He just stood in the pocket as comfortable as could be.
That was Tristan Reddy with the catch. Wanted to get that out there. Had a drop earlier, makes up for it now as the Argos are in the red zone, down 6 with 6.5 left.
Just a deep comeback route up the sideline, and that's where Gershio was looking the whole way, knew it was coming, and just waited, pretty deep route, and had the protection to be able to make that play.
I believe in the Argo playbook, that's known as the Ungerer.
Yeah.
First down. Ground game. Tripped up in the backfield, Jaron Mitchell. He'll fall forward, maybe get a yard, maybe the line of scrimmage. We'll see where they mark it. Short gain either way.
Not much there. Mitchell didn't have much of a chance. There was penetration into the backfield almost immediately, and he was looking for an escape. There was nowhere to go.
Think they maybe roll out Gershio.
Yeah, I know. Get him outside the pocket. Get him moving.
Inside 6 minutes remaining now. Argos down 6, moving into a very strong wind again. A very strong wind. Gershio now wants the quarterback dropped it, rolling. He's in trouble, and he's going to lose all of that ground that he made with his feet earlier. Ooh. They're out of field goal range. And out comes the punt unit.
And that's the problem when you play this style of football and you're looking to scramble and make plays. Sometimes stuff like that happens. He looked to scramble, lost the ball, had the wherewithal to be able to pick it up, not fall on it, but pick it up and keep running. But that may have been the worst decision because he ended up losing a ton of yardage. Got a fortunate spot there to only lose 15.
Oh, and Hubert will make the sack or get credit for it. And out comes Reed Martin to punt. Using one of their two, the one outside. The 3-minute warning. Use it or lose it.
And this is a little bit of a different finish for a game, like different from what you see in the regular season, because again, these coaches still want to see players make plays. Players want to make plays. They're not hoping for kneel downs or anything like that. They want an opportunity to put plays on tape to show that they belong in this league. And so you might see a little bit of a different final 5 minutes here with Hamilton up 6 points with the football and the wind.
I wonder if Hamilton had not enough guys on the field. Because you're not going to fake it from here if you're Toronto. You need 25 yards. Let's see what Martin can do here. High kick, end over end, looking for the sideline. Did not get inside the 15, so it's out of bounds, and there will be a penalty tacked on as it went out at the 17. And that might be a little generous. We'll take the timeout. Inside 5 minutes left, fourth quarter. Argos down by 6. Trey Ford back in at the helm. Ticats up 20-14, and ground game and first down as running right up the gut was Avery Morrow. That's his 5th carry of the night and his longest carry of the night.
A good hard run from Morrow. Arnold did well coming up from the safety spot to trip him up. Toronto played 4 different safeties tonight. They've been rolling guys through, trying to take a look at what will be a pretty important decision for them.
With the retirement by Enoch McConza, who got hurt again in training camp and just said, okay, that's like 5 in 5 years. That's enough. Ground game, good for 5, maybe 6. Morrow again will get 6, so he's now 6 carries for 21 yards. Passing numbers, impressive for the Ticats tonight. Dola Gala, 189, Ford, 156.
They've had some big plays, and what was so impressive with Ford is that most of his were into the wind.
Yep.
He had that one long one in the fourth quarter here with the wind, but most of that yardage came when they were coming into the wind in the second quarter.
Oh, just that crazy, ridiculous, stupid. If you're just tuning in, you will see it, I assume, on highlights tonight. It was eerily similar to the sideline stop, pivot, return, throw, touchdown he did a couple of years ago with Edmonton. Nothing. It breaks down there for Ford. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward, actually got hit 3 or 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage and turns it into a 1-yard gain, but it will still be 3rd and 3. And Scott Milanovic will send out the punt unit.
And not quite close enough to take a gamble. Maybe another yard or two, and it's a different decision from Hamilton. But Toronto's going to get the ball back. It's going to be, we're going to hit the 3-minute warning. Toronto's going to get the ball back and a chance to win this game.
Dimitri Stanley will go back for the punt when we come back. 3 minutes exactly left in the fourth quarter. Dimitri Stanley stands at his own 5-yard line for a team punting from its own 45. That's the kind of wind is out there tonight. Flag down at the line of scrimmage. Stanley will take it at the 5-yard line. Pretty good judge. Bobbles it. He's going to look to the right side. Stop, stutter, come back to the middle and get out to about the 15. We'll see what the flag is. If that's against Hamilton, they may want to redo this.
That flag blew away. It blew over the Argos bench, almost to the track.
Toughest job tonight might be Jason, the mascot, when he holds up the Get Loud flag, because it's a big flag, and it would act as a sail tonight. Here's the call from Andrew Wakefield. Andrew? Yeah.
That's
not a bad call because it was a good kick, a good coverage, and now your cover team's going to be tired.
Yeah, that's a good penalty to accept. Not only were you backed up way in your own end, but you're right. That coverage team, those guys are going full out, having to do it twice in a row. This is often where you see plays break.
Argos merch, everything you need. There is now a getaway party shirt that's got Ben Grant's name written all over it. Argonauts.ca. Also, a lot of memorabilia, a lot of stuff from the championship season up for sale. Everything from helmets to game-worn jerseys to locker plaques. If you're into that kind of stuff, Argonauts.ca. Here's the kick, and it's not as good. And Stanley's going to come up and catch it at the 16. And bubble back, which might not be a great idea because he's going to get hit at the 15-yard line right where he was before.
Yeah, he just needed to go forward. It was well covered. Hamilton's coverage team did a good job. They stayed in their lanes. There was nowhere really to go. And Stanley trying to make a play. You know, he wants to try and get some points for his team. Thought he would take the long way around, and it ended up costing him yardage.
So we'll see what kind of giddy up Gershio's got here in this maybe last drive or next to last drive. He's going to get away from some pressure. Here he goes to the 20, diving headfirst to the 23. He'll be 2 yards shy.
Oh, my goodness. They sent a halfback blitz. Gershio didn't see it initially. I thought he was in a world of trouble. At the last second, must have seen a flash of black and yellow. Ended up just sidestepping that tackle and making a good play out of what could have been a painful sack and at least a 5-yard loss.
If he had tried to throw that deep, the wind would have killed it, as that was just a strong gust while that was going on. There's the arm strength of Gershio. It's a weird release, but he's got some arm strength. It's good for 7 and an Argo first down out to the 30 with 2:07 left.
Yeah, very natural arm talent. He can just sort of flick his wrist and that ball goes, but it is a strange delivery. It's got a sort of 3/4 sidearm feel to it, and you worry about balls like that being knocked down, but we haven't seen that from Gershio tonight.
Blitz from depth, and it's going to be Gershio again who bobbled it again, and we'll just get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard, but maybe not. 2nd and long either way.
That was terrible luck from Gershio, and just from the play calling standpoint for Toronto, they ran a quarterback draw right into the blitz, which is not what you want to do coming from the halfback position again.
9 to get on 2nd down. 3 receivers out to the wide side of the field, although we'll get motion back in now with Skinner. Gershio steps up, rolling, and he's going to get caught again inside the 25-yard line. Loss of about 7. And very quickly, without hesitation, in 1:38 on the clock, Mike Miller's going to send his punt unit out.
It was pretty good disciplined defense from Hamilton.
Jeez. Injured player for the Ticats.
You hate to see that, especially at this stage of the game. Oh, he's going to get up. He's up on his own feet.
Good.
Oh, no, he's down again.
79 for the Ticats. That is Dejon Benton, rookie out of Hawaii. They've got a couple of players from Hawaii on the Ticats roster. And Benton went down, got up, went down again, and you can see he's favoring his right leg.
Yeah, he's back up again, but he's willing himself off the field. He's had some nice plays tonight. We've said his name a few times.
So once again, it is Reed Martin out for the punt into the wind, into a very strong wind again, a little bit more of a crosswind, and it just kills this. Knocked down to the 49-yard line. Bubbling back is Xavier Malone up the middle and cartwheels his way to the 52-yard line. 1:17 for the Ticats to kill. Argos won in Hamilton. Ticats trying to return the serve here in Guelph tonight.
James Neal, the tackle there. I was pretty excited as he came off the field. That was a nice-looking hit as he sent the returner head over heels.
Just going to see what Scott Milanovich calls here when you've got such a good running quarterback in Trey Ford, although you do not want to get him hit at this stage of a preseason game. And they will go conservative, and again, it will be Avery Morrow who will get across midfield down to the 52-yard line. He'll get halfway to the first down, and Mike Miller will call timeout. 1:11 left.
Pollard had him in the backfield. A really nice penetration, timed that well too, but just couldn't get him to the ground. A really nice fight from the Hamilton back to be able to stay on his feet and push forward for pretty good yardage on first down when everybody knew it was going to be a run. But that's also what Trey Ford buys you, is when you've got an athletic quarterback like that, you can't sell out on the running back, because if he pulls it and keeps it, you're done.
Going to be a sleepless night tonight for a lot of players, as tomorrow is the final cut-down day. Argos staff will stay here as long as it takes. They're going to meet in the pavilion over to our left here where the coaching and personnel offices are. And it will be Ford on the keeper to the 45 to the 40, and he will slide at the 39-yard line. Touched by Tyshawn Blackburn, but it's a first down with 1:04 left.
And that's exactly what we just talked about. You can't fully commit to the running back, because if you do, all it takes is a quick pull. That one looked like a legitimate read from Ford, not a design run, but rather a read, and he saw that the end collapsed, and so he pulled the football for an easy first down run.
We never get to do an out-of-town scoreboard with other games going on.
I know, that's true. It feels like university coverage.
Ottawa, as time expires in the capital, have defeated Montreal 27-3. RD's got them going. As Trey Ford now is going to get into victory formation. 4 seconds left on the 20-second clock. And take the knee. The game here, obviously, 20-14 will likely be the final score. BC leading Winnipeg 20-13 as they are at halftime, and a little bit later tonight, Edmonton and Calgary. Sask has the bye week. Ford's going to let it drop down as much as possible. He'll have to take a couple of seconds off the clock with the kneel down. And does. 18 seconds left. They'll do it one more time. So the Argos do not play next week. They will open in Montreal Friday, June the 12th, 7 o'clock kickoff. And I believe there's a soccer game that night. So we'll be back on TSN 1050. That will be available on the TSN 1050 website. So you can join us for that. And that will do it for tonight. So training camp is officially over for the Argonauts and Ticats. The preseason is officially over as well. And these two teams now get ready for the 18-game slugfest to try to get into the playoffs.
Football's here. It's great. This was a fun game tonight. A highly enjoyable game.
The first half was...
Yeah, the first half was the better half of the two, and that's often the case with a preseason game. But, it was a fun game to watch, and I think most importantly, the players showed what they can do and gave the coaches a little bit more to think about tonight as both teams will head back now and make their final decisions for tomorrow's roster cuts.
Do you think there will be any surprising names on the list?
I do. There always are. Every year, I think, there'll be 3 or 4 guys that I know, well, this guy's a lock, this guy's a lock, this guy's a lock. And every year, someone that I thought for sure was going to be on the roster isn't. It's a really tough thing to do because you're not just considering talent. You're thinking about roster construction as a whole. You're thinking about salary cap. You're thinking about growth and development of other players coming in.
Canadians, globals.
Yeah, and chemistry too. So there's a lot to go into it, and more certainly than any of us can see simply watching the games from the stadium or watching on TV or listening on the radio. The coaches have way more intel on all of these guys that they gather throughout training camp, and so their decisions, there's always reason behind it, but there will be surprises.
And also one thing to remind fans of, they're not going to go next door and go, okay, now let's start doing our – this has been a process for 3 weeks. And for even longer than that. As going into camp, you kind of have an idea of who you want to see, who may play well. And then guys will come out in camp and surprise the hell out of you one way or the other.
Yeah.
Some will be very positive. Some will have played their way off the team. And while the preseason games are a useful tool for evaluation, okay, maybe not last week in the monsoon, but it's more about the practices and the scrimmages and what they've seen over the 3 weeks. And that can be sort of underscored in a game like this, or you can go, oh, maybe this guy's not a primetime player. Maybe he's a practice player. Those are the decisions they have to make. There were some jobs open, but I think for the most part the decisions had been made. I'd be curious to see, without even looking at the film immediately, what guys saw tonight and who may have played their way onto the team or played their way onto the practice roster at least.
More often than not, the games confirm what the coaches already felt.
Absolutely.
So you have an idea going into the game. You're like, I think we're going to see this. I think this guy's done enough to step up, and the game confirms that for you. There are the occasional surprises. Guys that, like you said, when the lights are on, they just have a different gear. And maybe there was some of that tonight. We'll have to see what the coaches saw and what the takeaways will be, and we start finding out information over the next 24 hours as to who made the team and who's going to be looking to catch on somewhere else.
And tonight, not a real great exhibition by the teams if you're trying to figure out what they're going to be like in the regular season, because neither team started a lot of starters, if any.
And they didn't show much either schematically.
No, it's very vanilla. So it was, okay, let's show what we got. Let's see what guys can do man on man, and hopefully nobody gets hurt. And then let's go into the meetings and then start making some very difficult phone calls tomorrow. Hi, can you come to the coach's office and bring your playbook?
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, I want to thank everybody as part of the crew tonight, to Jake and Mateo and Eric, Morgan, Will, Johnny, Miguel, Adam, Jenna, Ember, Hugh, and Neil. Thank you very much. We thank you for watching. And a reminder, whether you're an Argo fan, a Ticat fan, or just a CFL fan, make sure you find your way into the barns this year and go out and support three-down football in this country. For Ben Grant, my name is Mike Hogan. Thank you for watching tonight on CFL Plus.